Okay, an M14 draft. Let us do that. Scale up. Where is... Well, my honest assessment... Wait, sorry. I was going to say my honest assessment is pacifism is the best card in the deck. Or in the pack. But Flames of the Firebrand is probably better. Gigantic Sliver might be better as a first pick. Although I feel every time I try and do the slivers thing, and this is something that would easily push you into the slivers thing, it ends up not working. I mean, he's fine on his own. 6/6 or 6 is good in this thing. I'm not sure. It's going to be a little bit awkward because Flames of the Firebrand will definitely push people into red, and red is the color you want to be with this, but I'll do it. I think the double strike sliver is better than him. Jesus. Well, so Fire Shrieker's good for everything. Water Servant's probably the best card in the pack. Root Wall is the best green card. I don't know. It's very debatable. I mean, I would take the Water Servant if this was not a sliver, because blue doesn't really have slivers. And this obviously wants to work with slivers, but you know what? I mean, blue-green is just the best color combination anyway. And wow, my cards are tiny. So yeah, I'll take the Water Servant. Screw it. And if we end up in slivers, we end up in slivers. And this pack is Banisher Priest is probably the best card here. I'll take a Root Walla, I think. Maybe Hunt the Weak. Especially if I'm in blue-green. It's the only way to actually kill their stuff. I mean, Claustrophobia does a very fine analog for that. Hunt the Weak does work well. We already have 2 fairly large creatures, so... I hate passing Root Walla. It's so good. I'll take Hunt the Weak. They're all commons. A Rumbling Baloth. So, ooh, whoa, what the what? What the what? Okay. Not passing 2 Flames of the Firebrands. Like, we can splash for it. It's certainly good enough to splash for. We could just move into, you know, see, this is what happens. You first pick the sliver, and then 0 slivers come your way. 0. So I think I'll take a Time Ebb over like a Ranger's Guile or a Dragon Egg. Time Ebb's pretty good. Deadly Recluse. I wonder if, there's our sliver, but I don't think that's... We might not be in blue. I get the feeling blue's being cut, and like I like Time Ebb, but it's probably like the 6th or 7th best. Maybe not that. Maybe probably like the 5th best blue common, which is just shows you how good blue commons are. But sort by converting mana cost. Okay. Yeah. Well, Giant Spider's the best card in the pack, and we're gonna take it. So take that. And Mana Weft Sliver. 2 pretty good blue commons still around, so maybe that's a thing. But I still think this sliver is what we want to take anyway. It's probably pretty close in power level to the Time Ebb and the Sea Kite, and it plays well with our gigantic sliver. Where are the predatory slivers? Where are they? I could take the Blur Sliver. I think I'll just take Ranger's Guile. Spore Mound. Happily take that. Naturalize. Sure. Another Firehead or second Naturalize. You know there are some decks where you want 2 Naturalizes. I'm happy. There are some decks where you want 2 Rangers Gals too. So we are. Could be blue-green, could be green, whatever. Could be mono-green. Is actually a fine archetype if you can pick up some Howl the Night packs over here in the 7-drop slot. It's reasonable. Nothing. You know, I don't know. Water Servant's pretty damn good. Water Servant's pretty damn good. So yeah, like Lay of the Line to something or Lay of the Land is something I'm looking for. I'm not gonna be super disappointed if I don't get it, but it would be nice to have some fixing. Elvish Mystic, Voracious Worm, Brindlebore, Coral Merfolk. Not a big fan of this guy. I thought I was gonna like him more, and then I played with him and it was like, meh. Probably just take the Elvish Mystic. Accelerate on turn 1 into one of the root walls that we passed. Predatory Sliver is not bad. Could do worse. Phantom Warrior is probably better. But double blue might be a little bit difficult for us to cast. Bogru Witch is kind of fun. But we are not in that color. Take a Predatory Sliver. So Sliver something maybe? I know it never works for me, but Plummet Sight. Whoa! Almost missed that. Okay. So I guess we're just gonna really push the Sliver thing. I guess we did pass. I think the only chance that a Sliver we passed in pack 1 was a what's his face? The Vigilant Sliver. I'll take a Bone-Sized Sliver. We could move into white. Don't like white, but it's a fine color to pair. That, as I was saying, I played somebody who had 14 Slivers in their deck, and that was not a pleasant experience, especially when Bone-Sized Sliver came down on turn 3. I'm sorry, turn 4. Yeah, it was Vigilant Sliver, Predatory Sliver, Bone-Sized Sliver, which is like the nut draw. Well, I'm just gonna do it. And we don't have any beasts yet. Past 1 beast. I guess we're just gonna do it. Just do the Sliver to the deck. Hope it works. Hope it works. A Lay of the Land is probably going to be more important than a Spore Mound in this deck. We're just going to go the full 3 colors. It probably won't be full 3 colors. It'll be base green with splashing into red and white for their slivery stuff, and you know, Pledge of the Firebrand. Did pass a Verdant Haven there, but Predatory Sliver is probably the most important sliver in this deck. So Griffin Sentinel, I think, gives us a better way to deal with flyers than anything else in the Sliver deck. Not the weak works for it too. Giant Spider would make the cut. But so what's our Sliver count at? 5. I don't know that I want Giant Growth. I already have 2 Ranger's Guiles. I like Molten Birth. I like Marauding Maulhorn. Maybe the Maulhorn. Active Treason is also fine. It's more splashable. Our mana might be sketchy. Yeah, Giant Growth's pretty good. Bacon, Hive Stirrings. just gonna do the sliver thing. I don't know. It feels like there's just not quite enough slivers in this deck. There's basically 2 slivers at common and 1 at uncommon and 1 at rare in the 3 sliver colors, and it's just not quite good enough. I guess, I don't know if Fortify is what we want. Just cut a Vampire Warlord. It's kind of bad for us. So want more fixing and more slivers, basically, is all we want. We already did get to the... Yeah, these are probably the 2 best slivers to have. I mean, the Flying Sliver is also quite nice, and the Thorncaster Sliver is also nice. Flying Sliver might be a little bit better, but it's off color. Not that ever discouraged us. Alright, Plummet. So Elixir's kind of bad. Alright, so I feel bad about passing that first, or sorry, no, I don't know. But alright, so sliver count 0 in this pack. Giant Spider's fine. This is not a good pack. Not a good pack at all for like any color. Like, what's the best? This might actually be the best card in the pack. In this format anyway, I'd probably take it over Corpse Hauler. I like Corpse Hauler a lot. Divination, Wall of Frost. Actually, Wall of Frost is probably the best card. Wall of Frost is just such a blowout sometimes. We could actually be up to 22 cards. I mean, these are all 3 playable. They're better out of the board, but they're playable. Train Condor, Advocate Beast, Hive Stirrings. Still a good Sliver Construct. This is a good place to put 9 mana in this set. Really good. Gotta make sure your Dark Ceiling Ingot's double indestructible. I'll take the Hive Stirrings. Really want to get, like, I really want Hive Stirrings, Sliver Construct, and Dark Ceiling Ingot out of this pack, but that is not to be. Not to be. Lay of the Land or Sliver Construct. I am a little bit concerned about our fixing. We do have a 1 Lay of the Land and 1 Mana Weft Sliver. I mean, no. Shift Embrace is pretty nasty too. But I think we're just going to commit to the Sliver thing. I don't know that it's going to work out, but I'll go ahead and do it. There's a decent chance Lay of the Land wheels. There was a decent chance Sliver Construct wheels as well, but Predatory Sliver, super good. Super, super good. Hope like hell that wheels, probably not. Academy Raider is also very good, but doing the Sliver thing. Doing the Sliver thing. Yeah, ground 7-drop Sliver, less important. Although somewhat playable, especially with Mana Weft Sliver into Hive Stirrings. But I think Trollhide's just better to give us some durability. Slap that on Bone-sized Sliver so they can't kill it. And also it's just freaking nasty. Ground Shaker Sliver could wheel too. Trollhide. Oh man. Windstorm is just such a blowout. Just such a total nasty blowout against someone who's flying, and like we can go ahead and cut Griffin Sentinel. Like, this is such a blowout, I would probably just run it main board. And then if it's a dead card, it's a dead card, but when it's a blowout, it's a blowout. I mean, Hunt the Weak would also be nice, but our creatures aren't necessarily that big until he comes out. What just happened? Alright, I'll take a Windstorm and cut the Griffin Sentinel. Whoa. Alright, Striking Sliver. Works in the deck. Generally not good, but in the deck. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna cut. This Pay No Heed's gonna go in the sideboard against red decks for the red removal. Well, it's also somewhat playable on its own. Let's see. I don't think I need 2 Plummets and a Windstorm. A Courser's Shield might not be bad in this deck. We'll see. Still gonna put it in the sideboard, I think. Sliver Construct. Good, good, good. Yeah. Seismic Stomp might come in, might not. Lava Axe may or may not come in. Sure. Alright, so our fixing is a little bit suspect. We have Manawef Sliver and Lay of the Land. I'm going to be running 10 forests probably. And then, let's see, we're 3. Probably run 4 plains and 3 mountains. That's playable. Against the right deck. Alright. So, 2 Giant Spiders and Windstorm should be there. Don't know that Elvish Mystic is really that good for us. Like, so what, we're going to accelerate into a turn 3 or turn 2 Blur Sliver? Just don't know that it's that great. So what's our sliver count? We have 3 Predatory Slivers, a Manawef Sliver. So that's 4, 5. I'm just count these as 1. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 slivers. That's a pretty reasonable sliver count. I don't know that. Put the cards I think about cutting. That one doesn't seem to do that much against it for us. I don't know that Spore Mound really does that much either. Or a main deck Naturalize. Like, I think Windstorm's just like, we have no flying creatures, and it can just be such a blowout against all the blue decks. Like, unless they're mono green, they'll have a target for us. They'll have a Deathgaze Cockatrice or Sarah Angel, or red's not that much heavily either into it, but they've got some dragons. So sort group creatures separately. So these are creatures. Forgot this is essentially a land. I mean, I could just run it like this and then three plains and 3 mountains, but I think it's better just to go up to the, maybe not. So that's 5 sources each for white and red. Could cut the main deck Naturalize. I guess that's probably a little bit better. Our mana is a little bit sketchy. There's probably going to be an opportunity to use it. Windstorm. Maybe I should leave it in Naturalize and take out a Giant Spider if I leave the Windstorm in, because I still have the Deadly Recluse, 1 Giant Spider, and this 3 solid ways to deal with flyers, plus Hunt the Weak, Flames of the Firebrand. Huh. Now I'll keep the creatures in because we want to be somewhat aggro. This can be aggro. It is more defensive, but it can be aggro. So this is not the way to do it. I do like that it knew to go heavy iron on plains and mountains. So this essentially gives us, with the lay of the land and the Manawef sliver, we have 6 ways to get plains, or 6 ways to get white and 5 ways to get red, for 3 red cards and 3 or white cards, which I think is pretty reasonable. Yeah, I guess I'll just run it like this. This is as usually what happens is what almost happened there is I first pick the sliver, and then I think, oh, well, I'm gonna be the sliver deck, and then I abandon it by about pick 5. But getting past the bone size sliver in pack 2 will change that in a hurry. This is probably the best one, I think, because it comes down earlier than the Gigantic. And it has the double strike is nasty, especially if you can get some of these predatory slivers going. It's just ridiculous. It's possible even I should run 2 Ranger's Guile over the Giant Growth just to protect my guys from removal. I think that's actually what I'm going to do. Because just because it's you want to avoid the situation where they Doom Blade like your predatory sliver after you've attacked with everybody, and then suddenly they just have profitable block, profitable block, profitable block, and then you just kind of have like a cascade failure and end up with like almost a board wipe in a situation where you're like almost unbeatable. So yeah, I'll run it like this, and we'll see how this goes.